Welcome everyone to our panel discussion today. I'm Thomas Bryant, Director of Product Marketing here at Commvault. But more importantly, I'd like to introduce you to our Commvault panelists. First up is Sarah Mutscheller, Senior Director of Product Marketing, or of Marketing, I should say. Melissa Bien, Manager in Finance, and Kaitlin Carrollo, Field Sales Engineer. So the first question I'd love to ask all of you is, with the International Women's Day theme this year being Inspire Inclusion, what does that mean to each of you?
Sure. I'll go first. For me, in honor of International Women's Day, Inspire Inclusion means the ability to recognize women for all of our contributions, promoting women into leadership roles, positions where they can make decisions on behalf of the company. It means creating an environment that feels like a safe space where everyone knows that their contributions matter, that their voices make a difference. This level of respect and value you can't always just find anywhere. At the end of the day, I think we all know all humans need that connection, even in a professional setting. And that sense of belonging goes a long way. It's basically like saying you matter.
That was great. Second, everything that Melissa just said, I'll just short and sweet. I always think of it as really allowing people to show up as their authentic selves in the workplace and being accepted. So just in a really succinct way.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. I think inspiring inclusion is about providing that environment, like was said already, to allow women to really just step into leadership, whether that's as individual contributors or in formal leadership roles, and really just making it something natural that people feel comfortable doing.
So a follow-on question to that is kind of, as you've worked throughout your career, both before and now at Commvault, how have you looked to inspire inclusion throughout your career?
Sure. I'll take that one as well, and then I'll stop leading the way. One of the huge things I try to do here with our team is encouraging activities, whether it's team building, virtual happy hours, outings, dinners, lunches, a way for us all to get together. A lot of us are still based in New Jersey, where our original headquarters are, so it kind of gives us that chance to do that. While we've opened up the team to other areas, we always try to connect virtually any chances we can. There's also so many opportunities within the learning and development team here at Commvault to take that time for any of the team members to schedule in to develop their own professional careers. So I do always make sure to encourage the team to take those chances every chance that they get. It's never going to be a missed opportunity, kind of take what you can get and learn it along the way.
Yeah. Can I go on? Do we want to answer this question again?
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know if you were going to go, Thomas. I will just double click again on that authenticity piece that I was talking about earlier. And I genuinely try to show up as my authentic self each day in the workplace, just setting as an example and a tone for everybody else. And then I hope in turn that allows others to show up in that same authentic way. And I think that builds a level of trust and a level of respect around who they are as people, authentically who they are. And so I think that brings a level of inclusivity.
Yeah, I definitely try to, especially being in the role that I'm in, it's more of a technical expertise kind of space, and there's not really so many women in that space. So I just try to exist. I come out here, I do my technical thing, I show people that women know technology, and I hope that that shows other women who maybe have an interest in technology or, deeper technical fields, that there's a place for them and that they can grow in that space.
Oh, that's great. I mean, so each of you are obviously doing a lot to help inspire other women, both professionally and in specifically kind of in the tech industry. But how have you seen Commvault help inspire inclusion and support women?
I will just speak specifically to, I think, the leadership that we have just cross-functionally. The leadership that I've interacted with brings that level of authenticity as well, and really respects and has an openness to what everybody has to say and share. And to me, that sets the tone that trickles down throughout the organization. And even more specifically, I'll speak to Anna Griffin, who leads the marketing team as a whole. She's an incredible inspiration to what it means to show up authentically and to truly live out the values of that inclusivity.
Yeah. Kaitlin or Melissa, anything to add to that?
Yeah, I think Commvault is a really collaborative space because we're kind of that small, medium, I guess, sized company, you would say. We get to do a lot of cross-functional work and meet people all across the org, that you might not be able to in a bigger organization. And I feel like it allows folks to share their ideas and get their voice heard regardless of what their position is in, which has been really beneficial to myself and others in the organization.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like Convolt has kind of opened that door to taking the feedback and holding themselves accountable in terms of how are they going to promote more women in the workplace. Over the past few years, it's pretty clear that the females in leadership positions have grown exponentially. And same with Anna Griffin. We have Danielle Abrahamson now as the Chief Accounting Officer. And if you've worked with her, she's fantastic and a great mentor in that position. So being able to see that and kind of live through it is huge and kind of really sets the tone for the rest of the department and the company.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's great that, the women are continuing to grow into the marketplace even more, and we're becoming more inclusive. But what kind of advice would you give for women that are just getting into the industry and starting out their careers? Maybe we'll start with Kaitlin.
Sure. I think the most important thing when you're starting out in your career is to find advocates for you in the workplace. We talk a lot about mentorship, and that's super important too, especially if you can find a woman mentor or someone with a similar background as you who can kind of understand what you're going through day to day. But it's really important to find and foster the relationships with people who are not only going to help you one-on-one, but also talk positively about you to other people within the organization. The best mentors of mine, men and women, have advocated for me in my position, and it's made a really huge difference in my career growth.
Yeah, completely agree on that. And with mentorship too, it's not even just people that you work with on a day-to-day basis, right? We've talked about cross-functionally departments as well, men and women. These are the people that will talk about you highly even when you're not there. On top of that, I would say don't count yourself out and just take every opportunity you can get. Even if it's scary and you don't know what it's about and you don't know if you'll be good at it, it doesn't matter. You'll learn it along the way. So every chance and opportunity you get, I would say take it and run with it, because you just never know what kind of doors it will open later on.
Gosh, I couldn't agree more with what both of you just said. Advocacy and mentorship is huge, as you both expressed. And then I would say leaning in, which is very much in line with what Melissa shared as well. Don't take yourself out. We've just come so far from a career perspective for women in general, and what that looks like as you grow in your career. So lean in.
Yeah, that's great advice. So, International Women's Day, it's one day. But what do you, looking forward to the rest of the year and in years to come, what do you think that companies can do to continue to create that inclusive environment for women and make it more inviting? But let's start with Melissa, maybe.
Sure. So when you see a company that has this inclusive culture that makes, just like what I said at the beginning, kind of gives a sense of belonging and that everyone's voice matters. It gives a sense that employees can become more engaged in their day-to-day responsibilities, and that overall will lead to longevity in their employees, in their relationships with everyone that they had. A huge aspect of where individuals apply more and more, I think, is individuals feeling like they can connect and kind of everything that they look for values basically that align with what their values are within that company as well. So as long as Commvault and other companies can continue to make that clear and that they kind of align on those same values, they'll attract the right talent, and overall the company will perform better, the individuals will perform better, and they'll gain the sense of trust and overall happiness, I would say, in keeping the right people there.
Yeah. Sarah, anything to add?
Well, for me, I think such a huge piece of keeping that inclusivity, what companies can do, it starts with the leadership. I think that's just such a huge piece of it. They set that tone that trickles down. So I'm a huge proponent for what does that leadership team look like? Are they living by the values? And Commvault is one of those places that does.
Yeah. I think most important is really just to, in your day-to-day work, for me, what's most important for me, is to just keep an open mind and understand that everyone's going to have a different style, but that doesn't mean we can't achieve similar outcomes. Sometimes it's easy to fall into the trap of this person was really successful, so I'm looking for someone who's just like them, not how they look, obviously, like, you know, how they act or how they speak. And then we can end up in kind of, you know, everyone sounds the same, but different people can have a different style, but still achieve the same things.
Yeah, I actually love that answer. I'll just add on to that I think that's so true, and really understanding and appreciating the different points of view that come to the table. I feel like I've learned that more and more as I've gone further in my career.
Yeah. Well, I want to thank each of you for spending a little bit of time with us today, celebrating International Women's Day. In closing, is there anything else that you'd like to add at all? Or, you know, I always like to throw in a little curveball and maybe ask one little extra question of, if you were to think into not just tech, but in general, are there any particular female figures that inspire you today on International Women's Day?
I would say kind of my current list of females that inspire me are marathon runners, especially moms that can compete at that level. Those are the type of people that, you know, they have an agenda, they have a goal in mind, and it's so amazing to see what women can do, what their bodies can do. A little not related, right, in this industry, but still something amazing to see. And it just reminds me that we can do anything.
That's awesome.
Can I bring in a pop culture reference? Swiftie, Taylor Swift.
Awesome. Powerhouse.
What she's been able to accomplish is really remarkable. She's a fantastic human being. So it seems. Great. I don't know her personally, but
absolutely. How about you, Kaitlin?
Yeah, that's a tough one. I'm also a Swiftie, so that just comes to mind. Good one. In addition to that, I would say Beyonce, just because she's also a mom and she still crushes it every day. So it's fun seeing people in pop culture, you know, hold the attention of everyone around, because it makes a big difference.
That's awesome. Well, thank you again, each of you, for coming and spending some time with us today. I wish you well, and I look forward to working with each of you going forward.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks, Thomas.